Good morning, welcome back to my channel. I'm Judy. So today I'm going to be making some pear jam. I have these Bosc pears and they're getting ripe, so I want to go ahead and make some jam with them. Or I could have dehydrated them, but I feel like making some jam. And I got a new steam canner, so I want to show you that. It takes less water. It's just a lot easier to can, you know, jams and jellies and foods like that. So stay tuned and let's make some pear jam. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel them and chop them up. And I'll just throw those over there. Anything that I'm not going to use, the chickens will get. I'll cut the ends off, and then I'm just going to use my peeler. See, they're getting ripe. And just peel them just like this. I love pears. I remember growing up, my grandpa had a pear tree. We had cherry trees, apple trees. Those were the good old days. So I'm just going to peel them. Let me speed this up just a little bit here. Speed myself up. And of course you want to cut off any bad spots or that might be on your, whatever your, your fruit, whatever, pears or apples or whatever, because you don't want to can those. But my new steam canner has a gauge on the top, and I will show you that, and it shows you, you have to find out what your altitude is. Here in Arkansas, it's like 300 and some, so I'm in zone 1, from 0 to 3,000. Okay. Now we're gonna slice it this way. There's the pit. My husband's on his way to help a friend. Her business is reopening here in Conway, and he's going up to hang some lights and stuff for her. So I'm just cutting them in, uniform pieces as much as I can, because we're gonna cook it in the pot. So with the sugar and the pectin and all that good stuff. Okay. I love this ceramic knife. There's a little bit of brown spots out there. I'm not worried about those little teeny ones. I'm talking about like a big spot. Whew. One thing about pears, they are juicy and slippery. Okay. That. And then we'll get rid of the core. Now there's part of the core. We don't want that. So the recipe I'm using is out of the ball jar, and it calls for 4 cups of fruit for that recipe. So I'm hoping I have 4 cups. I think I will. I'll probably have a little bit more than that. Whew, what's my hands off here? Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. See, like this one has a bad spot. We're going to cut that off. Let's see how deep it goes, because I don't want that in my jam. Okay, there we go. Chickens will get that. I'm going to keep peeling and cutting these up, and then I will bring you back for the next step. Okay, I'm going to try to do this one-handed since I don't have really any place I can set my camera. But I've got 4 cups of the pears in here. And I'm bringing it up to heat. And just let it cook just a little bit. And then I'm going to add my pectin and lemon juice. And then my sugar. What's that right there? A piece of a stem or something. Okay, I don't want that in there. Okay, I'm using the ball book, and I'm going by their recipe. And so we got to bring this to a boil. At least I'm going to let it heat just a little bit, and then I'm going to add my pectin, and I will bring you back for that step. Okay, I'm going to put in 1 bag of regular pectin. We're gonna stir this up. Make sure it's all dissolved up. I've got my temperature on medium. Okay. Alright. Looks like it's pretty well mixed up. Then we're going to bring this to a rolling boil. And I'll turn my heat up just a little bit. It's between a 7 and an 8 on my stove. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and then we'll add our sugar. I'm just going to put on I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I use the bottled lemon juice because of it's got a higher acidity than just because every lemon is different. If you're using fresh lemons, you can't. I want to make sure I got enough acidity. So bottled lemon juice is what I use when I can. Okay. Let this sit a little bit. It's starting to boil. Just let it keep. Once it gets a little softer, I will probably mash this down a little bit so it's not so big chunks. Alright, in the meantime, I've got my steam canner starting to heat up, and I'll show you that when we get to that next step. So I'm taking my masher and I'm mashing it up some so the chunks aren't so big, but I don't want it like pureed. I do like a little bit of texture in my jams. Okay, sorry for jarring the phone. Okay. Now it's to a rolling boil, so I'm going to take, I have 5 cups of sugar, and we're going to pour that in. Alright, we're going to stir this up. And I don't have any jelly jars, so I'm using pint jars. So we'll see, maybe we'll get 3 pints, or maybe just 2, I don't know. Let's get this sugar stirred in. Okay, now we need to bring this back up to a rolling boil and time it for 1 minute. Let's get that brown piece out of there. And then we're going to time it for 1 minute, and then it'll be ready to put in our jars. So I will bring you back when I'm ready to fill the jars up. Okay, there's the rolling boil, and we're letting it boil for 5 minutes, or 1 minute, sorry, 1 minute, and I'll bring you back and we're going to put it in the jars. Okay, I skimmed off as much of the foam that I could get off the top, because I don't really want that in my jars. Okay, my steamer is getting ready to, it's going. Now we got to fill up our jars. My jars are washed and sterilized as normal. And we're going to see how many we can get. I like doing small batches of jam. And then with my altitude, these will steam can for 10 minutes, according to the ball. Book, canning book. We're going to take it right up to the, I'll show you in just a second here. Okay. There's one beautiful jar. There's my paper towel that I just had. Oh, I'd lose my head sometimes if I didn't have it screwed on. I'm going to wipe off the rim. And I've got my seals soaking in hot water. Turn my jar around here. go. Put on our ring, fingertip tight. And isn't that beautiful? So pretty. Just love it. Put it in my steam canner. Okay, there we go. Let's fill up another one. I'm gonna have some more recipes coming up, or canning videos coming up, because I'm wanting to start canning some more of my frozen fruit that I have in the freezer, and more dehydrating videos with the frozen vegetables. Start cleaning my freezer out a little bit. Okay, we might get one more jar. So, okay, let's put this over here. Okay, I'm not worried about debubbling because it doesn't, it's pretty thick. It should be fine. Put our seal on, our rim. There we go. Jar number 2, and we're going to get one more jar. We're going to get, yeah, I think we're going to get this jar. If not, we'll just put this one in the fridge and we'll eat on it. Okay. Scrape this out with a spatula so I can get it all. Okay. Whoop. Oh yeah, I think we can put the rest of this in there. Another spoon. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay. This rim off. All right, we got 3 pint jars out of that small batch, and that's great. Okay. This one in there. Okay, so this is my steam canner, and I will show you a picture of what the brand is. It says Fruit Saver on the lid, so that's the brand, but it has the gauge up here that shows you 3 different zones. Zone 1 is the first one with the dark green. That's what my altitude is. So you have to check what your altitude is. Ours here in Conway, Arkansas is like 300 and some. So 0 to 3,000 is zone 1, and that is my altitude, and that's what I go by to can. So when it comes up to temperature, this little red lever goes all the way over here to the dark green. It's kind of hard to see the dark green. To the dark green. I've already done a test on this. I put 4 quart jars of water, no seals or anything, and did the test, and I let it come up to temperature, and once it got to probably just a little bit into the dark green zone, and then it stopped. Once it stops moving, then that's when you start timing whatever you have in here that you're steam canning. And it took about, I don't know, 25-30 minutes to heat up on my stove. But it's moving already. So yeah, so this is so far I've loved the test part of it. This is my first batch of steam canning in it. So we shall see when it gets up to there, where it's supposed to be in the green zone for zone 1. I will start my 10-minute timing, and there's a steam hole out the back of this lid that will start spouting steam out. Now, the manual says if it starts rocking and spitting out water along the edge, then you need to turn your heat down just a little bit until that stops. But this means it's up to temperature and it's ready to go. So I will bring you back when the lever's up there, and then I can start timing my jam. Okay, here are my 3 pints of pear jam. Now, I did process these for 11 minutes instead of 10. And so they have all sealed. So we shall see how they turn out, but if they stay sealed. But I think, I know it says use jelly jars, but we're going to see how the pint jars work. And it's beautiful. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and look for more canning videos coming up and dehydrating videos. And I shall catch you in my next one. Bye.